My name is Mahmoud and welcome to ZFlow. This will be the second video where we will dive deep into n8n to build a workflow together that generates invoice PDFs, and these invoices will have multiple line items in them. We will do this using Google Sheets, n8n of course, and Airtable as our database. We will be hosting n8n Foundations workshop as ZFlow. Please head on to our website and make sure you join the waitlist. So let's dive deep into our workshop today. And in the beginning, I'd like to show you how our database looks like. So it's pretty simple. We have books, clients, which is me here, can submit orders to these books. And as you can see, everything's linked in Airtable. So this book belongs to this order. These are the books, of course, and this client ordered them, and the invoice is empty. So if we go to n8n and we test our workflow that grabs the orders, the products, constructs the rows or the line items in Google Sheets, copies the sheet, and in the end it inserts the items, calculates the total, and of course updates Airtable, we have this PDF invoice in it. As you can see, everything's filled with the client's name, and we have the book, the price, the line total. Of course, if we have a quantity, it will be multiplied and it's summed. And therefore, you have your invoice. So let's dive deep into how this was done. And of course, this can be done with different types of triggers. It can be done on a schedule. It can be done on a scale for complicated invoicing scenarios. So let's see how things look like. First of all, we just search the orders that we have. Of course, this depends on multiple conditions in real life. We will retrieve the orders. As you can see, we retrieve the client data as well. And here we have two books, meaning two products. That's why we have the split function here, where we split the products in order to search their data in Airtable to retrieve the record. After this, we could just use a code node to really put the rows in the API structure that Google Sheets need. But in order to make this a bit cleaner and a bit more scalable for ourselves, we can just set a variable in how the row looks like. So this is the column name. This is the first cell in the row. And then we have an empty cell as per our requirement. So if we want to take a look at our Google Sheet template, here it is. It's much better if we go to View, Show, and hide our grid line, because the PDF looks nicer this way. We have the names just of what we want to replace, invoice number, invoice date, and we know we start from row number 24. That is important. We want to replace total variable as well. So this is how our sheet looks like. So we need to take its ID from the URL. And therefore, when we look in our sheet, we see that we have an item, then we have an empty value for this cell, another empty value, then the price, another empty value, then the line item, which is why here I have the same thing. Cell number 1 has a value, then empty value, etc. So this will set each row. After this, I aggregate them into one values array, because this is the API structure that Google Sheets wants. However, it doesn't want the keys, so it just wants the values, which is why I use the code node here to transform the structure into what Google Sheets needs. So in cell number 1, from our start, we'll start with the Great Gatsby. Then the null value will leave an empty cell, and yeah, you get what I'm going with this. After this, we copy the template that we have, because of course we don't want to fill it itself. Then we make an API call using the append method with to insert the rows. So as you can see here, we are starting from B24. We want to append on that. And as per Google Sheets documentation, we can use the append method with post, and we have to send these query parameters, user entered and insert rows as insert data option. And of course, the beautiful thing is that here our object of values is ready from the code node. Once we fill the rows, we have the sheet with the line items, but we still have the billing name and billing street and postcode not filled, which is why we go to replace cells. And we use the method called batch update here, as per also Google's API documentation. Of course, this has this JSON structure, which may look scary at the beginning, but believe me, it is not. As you can see, we have just the same structure of find and replace from this sheet ID, which is why we had to get the sheet before, because fill rows just returns the spreadsheet ID, doesn't return the sheet ID, which is usually, if it's the same sheet, if it's the first sheet, it's always going to be 0. But this is how we make it scalable, of course. And then we say what we need to find. So find billing name and replace it with the variable value that we have from Airtable. As you can see here, the email somehow was mapped incorrectly and is undefined. So we could take a look. Maybe we didn't grab it. Yes, we can fix that here and grab the email. Perfect. After that, we share the file to role reader and type anyone just so we can upload it to Airtable. And we update Airtable where we take the ID from the very first search orders, and the invoice to upload it, it has to have this structure, an array of object that contains the URL, and the key must say URL. A little hack in Google in uploading Google Drive files is that for you to use this structure, also to specify the format, and to put the ID of the file, which is the spreadsheet here, after this, the letter. So now we have gone through how the automation was built, what depends on it, and how it works. We haven't gone deep into how to look into Google Sheets API, how to figure that out, how to have a bit more different use cases, routers, if and switch functions, and all of that. We cover all of this, of course, in the workshops with Zflow. I just want to go a little deeper with you on the side of calculations. So as you can see here, where we replace the total var, where we grab from the aggregation that we do, the values aggregation, we grab the column price and we sum it up using the map function. So map every item from values to its column price, or call price key, and then once we have these in an array, so we have the column prices in array because we mapped them, we sum them up. Something also small is how we format the date using the format function. In our n8n foundations as well, we go through almost all the functions of n8n and explain their value and how they can work and how we can use them. So thank you so much, guys. Let's run the automation one more time after we fixed the email, because as you can see here, it was empty. So let's see how it will be fixed now. Let's delete this one, run it again. And as you can see, it's pretty fast, and it can work on 100 invoices at the same time, it wouldn't matter. As you can see here now, we have the email, perfect, and such a beautiful invoice generated with no effort. So thank you guys so much. Hope to see you in the next video, and contact us if you have any questions.